Correspondence. I'm Espinosa, my colleague Jose Camacho, and this is joint work with Coventry University, Professor Emma Morton from there. The remainder of this presentation is divided in 3 chunks. Basically, one of them is an introduction, where we'll review a little bit what's been done in the field before, what existing business English corpora exist, with a little bit of strengths and limitations of each of them. We'll speak in detail about COBEC, statistics about it, and the combination and challenges we've been facing so far. And finally, ending with conclusions, applicability, and potential opportunities for research, for teaching, etc. So, the context is that there's kind of an agreement that there's a gap between research and practice in terms of business English. Seems to be like that many business textbooks include language about business, like radio, television, news, interviews with business experts, and so forth, but they include little on doing actual business. Authors like Nicholson, for example, have carried out surveys of teaching materials for English for specific business purposes, and found little content based on business English research. We refer the audience to other authors like Martial and colleagues, Williams and Chan for further examples of this. And we'd like to point to Hanford 2010 as well, because what he did, he surveyed over 20 best-selling business textbooks, and in his work, he didn't find any lessons based on real spoken business interaction, like, for example, telephone conversations, meetings, etc. So, there seems to exist a discrepancy between what researchers do and business English learners' needs. Corpora in this case can be a useful tool for giving an answer to this. We're going to review 3 existing business English corpora. First of them, CANBEC, the Cambridge Analytical Business English Corpus. Then the highly controversial Enron email dataset. And finally, the Corpus of Business Correspondence designed between the United Kingdom and Hong Kong. So let's start by CANBEC. This is a business English corpus that features roughly 1 million words, 65 meetings, range of companies and industries, 26 nationalities are featured there, if I'm not mistaken. And the problem is that over 80% of the content comes from the United Kingdom. So, despite having so many nationalities represented, non-British nationalities are underrepresented in the corpus. Limitations of CANBEC are 2. Basically, one of them is that it focuses on spoken business data alone, and the other one that is not freely accessible, which is can be a drawback if you're a student or Spanish researcher. The Enron corpus, there's a very big story behind the email correspondence corpus. We're not going to speak about that specifically, just to mention that it's one of the most famous business English correspondence corpus. It features over 150 users. From senior management from Enron, this corpus was made publicly available after Enron collapsed, and it's a fairly big data set, almost 600,000 documents. It's not easily usable for corpus linguistics though, because it's not designed as a research tool. It has limited markup, limited searchability, and this is derived from a lack of contextual information. And finally, let us have a look at the corpus of business correspondence. It has a range of text types like letters, memos, reports, etc. The authentic business data comes from companies in the United Kingdom and Hong Kong. It's one of the first ones to feature native and non-native speaker samples. However, text has not been marked up for this information. It's got a couple of basic search interfaces. However, it's got a very small data sample and doesn't feature emails, which we argue is the most common form of written communication in a business context currently. nowadays. And it's not possible to compare native speakers of English production and non-native speakers of English production, which is something that we are planning to incorporate in Kobe. So, roughly we're speaking about 50,000 emails of a 10-year range, plus several thousand letters, reports, presentations, etc. But right now we're focusing on the email component because we believe it's the most juicy of all of them. We hope to provide a sampler corpus, taster of it as soon as possible. We're working on it. And yeah, well, it comes from the telecommunications industry, from a no longer operating company. There's the possibility to incorporate data from other industries at a later stage, but yeah, this will be on a longer, at a longer distance. Yeah, as I said, there's a spread of emails over the years, and there's a spread of interdepartmental emails and emails sent externally. This no longer operating company was based in the United Kingdom, but it operated together with satellite companies in Europe, Germany, Italy, and a couple of other places. So we have in this corpus a mixture of data produced by native speakers of English and non-native speakers of English, and this is going to be annotated, which is going to be, we believe, one of the assets of the corpus as a research tool. Another thing that we're pretty excited about is the markup on whether this is a single email or part of a chain. For example, looking at register variation along time during email exchange. And we're planning to incorporate semi-automatic name entity recognition, person, location, organization. We believe this can be also useful for linguistic researchers or business English researchers. And yeah, of course, all links are being anonymized for personal-based project. For this reason, we are the slides that are forthcoming. Obviously, don't show it properly.
Hello everyone, this is the second part of the talk. And I'm going to talk about the compilation process. At this stage, we are going to focus just on the email component of the corpus. At a later stage, we will add technical reports, letters, another part of the corpus. At the beginning, this corpus was stored in Lotus nodes, this Lotus node kept a lot of contextual information. Lotus nodes is like an application development for large distributed application. So actually, Lotus node is used to store the corpus, but it has also some disadvantages. When the amount of data is quite large, and the search tools of the Lotus nodes are not quite appropriate. What we tend to do, we use some computational linguistic techniques afterwards, and it's not easy to tackle with this format. This is a screenshot of this program Lotus nodes. As you can see here, we can store some of the meta information. We have the date, the site, the subject, and much more meta information, but not always easily accessible. Here we have another screenshot of a sample of the corpus. And as you can see here, the language that is used is not like the conventional business language. You can read it here, like if you are in Coventry on Thursday, 28th of August, you must be welcome to join. This is because this is a corpus on doing business, so this is not the English, the business English from the point of view of English for a specific purpose, but it's the language of doing English. So it includes business language, but also other kind of language for networking and that kind of stuff. At this stage also we are working on the ethical considerations. As you can see, we have deleted some part of the corpus, like there are proper nodes. We are going to try to not making accessible in the final part of the corpus. For us, we are going to keep the corpus, the full corpus, with all the proper names and all the proper project names, but for the final user, we intend to delete that kind of information actually for another one. For that, we are trying to do it automatically, but not always as easy as we can find the proper nodes in whatever part of the corpus. So I think we will have to do that semi-automatically. So, because of all these problems with the Lotus nodes, we decided to use another format. We transfer the Lotus nodes file into a text format. In this format, the information is easily available and is easily processable with natural language processing techniques. This is a screenshot of the information shown with the text format. Here there is only like 7 or 8 context markups, but actually we have like up to 40. Not all are useful for us, but we are going to work on that and keep as much as possible what we think it will be useful for a later stage. Here we have deleted, of course, all the names, but it's included actually in our version of the corpus. Another advantage of this text format is the size of the file. At the beginning, we got a file of around 4 gigabytes for the emails, and when we transferred with the text file, we got it like it was roughly 300 megabytes. This was a problem at the beginning because with 4 gigabytes it was not easily manageable. For example, Emma is living in the UK and we are living in Spain, so we had a problem like she has to give us the corpus and there was no way to upload it online. Always the file ended up being damaged or something.